Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you see in this video, I'm wearing a beautiful pencil skirt with side ruffles. It's so easy to create. It's so easy to create and so easy to sew. So let's let's begin. As you can see, I'm having my fabric, my African print fabric, my lining, my chalk, my scissors, my tape measure, and my zipper. This is all what we need for this video. And also to when we start, I have folded my fabric into two. That's unfold. Then my fabric into two and I've put it to unfold, and I'm going to rule a line. That will be my starting point. So this video, your measurement that you need your waist, your hip, and your skirt length. My skirt length is 24 inches. So I'm going to take my band measurement, that is 2 inches, out of my 24 inches. I'll be left with 22 inches. And I'll be left with 22 inches. So I'll mark it right there and add 2 inches of allowance. As you can see, I'm marking it 22 inches. Yes. And now I'm adding the 2 inches of allowance to it, as shown. So for my waist point, the line there, I'm going to mark 10 inches. That's my hip line. It's mark 10 inches, that's my hip line. But because my band will be 2 inches, I'm just going to mark 8 inches. So when I fix in the band, it will be 10 inches. As for my waist to hip, 10 inches. So now you are going to take your waist measurement. Now we are going to add that inches, add that measurement. So to get to that, you are supposed to divide your bust span divided by 2. Mine is 6 divided by 2. It gave me 3 inches. And I'm going to mark half an inch side and side as my dart allowance in stitching it. And for my waist, I came down by 5 inches as my dart length. So now I'm dividing my waist by 4, and it'll give me 7. My waist is 28 and give me 7, so 7 inches I marked. And I'm going to mark additional 1 inches as my dart that I marked, and I added 2 inches of allowance. Now I came to my hip divided by 4. Then I'm adding 2 inches of allowance to it, and I deducted 1 inch for my hip. That gave me my hem measurement, and I added 2 inches of allowance to it. And after that, I ruled it out as shown. As you can see, I'm ruling it out with my ruler as shown. Then I curve it out, and I took my scissors, then I cut it out, as you can see. Guys, pardon me for today, I'm not too well, but I need to shoot this video and post it on my channel. I know you can hear from my voice that I'm not too well, but I'll be fine soon. Yeah, so pardon me if you don't hear my voice that loud. Just follow the procedure and you get it. So now I'm coming down by half an inch for my waist, and I'm curving it from the tip of my waist downwards to get a curve, and I'm cutting it out as shown. Yeah. So that's for the front. So I took another fabric and placed my front on it. And measured 1 inch as my zipper allowance. Measured 1 inch as my zipper allowance. Then I cut it out, as you can see me doing it. So now I'm done cutting my front and back, and I'm marking the wrong side so that I don't get confused when I'm sewing. So I'm done now, and I'm going to cut my lining. I'm just repeating my dots so that I can get it from the back. So I notched it. Yes, as you can see, I'm notching my dots so that it can reflect at the back too for me. And I'm also notching my zipper allowance, that's the 1 inch, the 1 inch. And I came back to my hem and measured 3 inches upwards because I want the fabric to be showing inside. It should be showing inside, as in the wrong part of the fabric. So as you can see, I've measured 3 inches, and I'm left with 18.5 inches. So that will be the measurement of my lining. So I'm folding it upwards, and I notched the side and side so that I'll see it properly and cut the lining. So now I'm done cutting the lining. I'm done using the fabric to cut the lining. Yes, I am done now. So before I go to the machine and go and stitch, I am going to show you how I'm going to stitch the lining into the fabric. So now this is the hem of my fabric, and I'm going to join the lining to the fabric as shown. I'm going to pick the correct side of the fabric and add it to the correct side of the fabric, as you can see me doing it. And I'm going to join it straight by 1/2 inch. As you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to join it by 1/2 inch and stitch at the side and side and turn it together for it to be neat, so I can look so neat. Wow, I'm done doing it for both the front and back. As you can see, it's so neat, so neat, and I'm loving what I'm doing. So I'm really measuring my dots out. So watch me do it. Yeah. So when you come to the back, I'm coming to mark my zipper allowance. That's 1 inch. I'm marking it out, but before then I'm going to put my zipper on my back and measure 2 inches upwards and mark 8 inches downwards. That's where my zip is going to end. As you can see, I'm marking a line that's 8 inches. That's where my zip is going to end. And the opening of my slit, so right now I'm marking 1 inch of allowance, and the opening of my slit is 6 inches. So that is what I've marked. And the line I just ruled, I'm going to stitch that side, and I'll be back. So my ruffles at my side and side, I've already cut a straight line. That's my tape measure length. Tape measure length is 60 inches, and I added a little bit of, I added like 15 inches to it. So I had 75 inches as the length of my thing. And I'm going to pull out the gathers. I'm going to stitch around it, as you can see me doing. And I'll pull out the gathers, and I'll be back. See you guys. So I'm done stitching my dots, as you can see, and I've stitched my gathering line on the straps. And before I do that. I go and pull out my gathers. You remember the 2 inches I added as allowance? I'm going to mark it out as shown. That is what I'm doing. So I'm marking out my 2 inches of allowance on the correct side, not the wrong side, on the correct side of the fabric. Guys, if you can't hear me properly, please follow my steps and you get it. So now I'm going to measure what I had. As you can see, that is the inches. The amount I get, that is what I'm going to use to pull out my ruffles. So I had 20 inches and I'll be back. So guys, wow, I'm done pulling out the ruffles, and that is it. I'm pulling out the ruffles. I'm going to bring my front pattern and put the ruffles on the line I ruled out, on the line I curved out, leaving half an inch of allowance at the top, because that is where I'm going to stitch my band. So after doing that, I'm going to stitch it down so that it doesn't move. I'll be back. So guys, I'm done stitching it, doing everything. See how neat and everything is. And I'm going to put my back pattern onto the front, and also I'm going to mark 2 inches of allowance, as you can see me doing. I'm going to mark 2 inches of allowance, as you can see me doing. So guys, watch it carefully and do it the same way, and you'll be good. You get a nice skirt to wear. Can take it to an outing, can take it out to the mall, anywhere. You can even sew it in for a photo shoot. So I'm going to stitch it and I'll be back. Wow, I love how my skirt has turned into. The fabric itself is giving it, and the neatness of everything is giving it. Wow, see how neatly my skirt has come out. So now I'm now done with the skirt. Done. See how neat and everything is looking. I'm done fixing my zip. I'm done fixing my band. Everything is done. My sleeves, I've hemmed it at the side and side so it doesn't remove. See how neat the skirt is looking, guys. You can make some for yourself.